Hello there, you, the viewer. You see here recently, I've been lightly battered like a piece of raw chicken with questions revolving around the Devil May Cry 5 and Punishing Gray Raven crossover, and it's completely understandable that people want to know every bit of information possible about the crossover, what to expect, how much to save, and how well each unit is going to perform. Allow me to explain something to you. Some of you are asking impossible questions. If Rexlin and Narushio hasn't released any hardcore information on the topic, what makes you think I have a PGR x DMC manifesto? I simply do not. The only manifesto I have is the extensive plan and list of everything I need to prepare for Alpha and I's wedding, as well as 18 sextillion tons of alpha hentai. But something I do have in regards to the DMC crossover is potential ideas and predictions for what we could get on top of things we definitely need when it comes to the DMC 5X PGR crossover, so strap in, because after we come off of our schizophrenic medication in order to theory craft the crossover, but also talk about exactly how badly we would definitely love a single player and multiplayer Bloody Palace game mode, we need to jump right into this faster and harder than a skydiver who's on drugs. Now, obviously, when it comes to crossovers, what do people want the most? The characters. Creating a video game crossover with absolutely none of its characters crossing over is the equivalent to ordering a cheeseburger with extra bacon and cheese from a fast food restaurant that's collaborating with another restaurant, and then the workers come out armed with sticks and stones and proceed to beat the shit out of you before dropping a grilled cheese sandwich on top of you made with yogurt instead. It's not what the customer expected, nor what they wanted. But considering what we've seen, we obviously are going to be getting Dante and Virgil as playable characters. But the fact remains that there are a multitude of other characters that many people want to see appear in the crossover. People like Lady, Trish, as well as Nero. Especially Nero. He's quite literally the main protagonist of DMC 5. Adding Devil Trigger Nero to PGR would have the server completely oversaturated with dead weight mains, and I wouldn't mind that at all. I can already foresee the chat like I'm Diavolo, with a bunch of people spamming dead weight jokes over and over in the global chat. But there's also the fact approximately 0.01% of the PGR community who also plays DMC 5 wants V in the crossover as well. He can also be considered one of the main protagonists, but I can understand why people wouldn't care much about him being in the crossover. He doesn't have much to offer gameplay wise, and he also didn't have much to offer gameplay wise in the actual DMC 5 game, nor does he have the same legacy as the other characters do. Sure, while he does play a pivotal role in restoring Virgil into the motivated, tax-evading man we know and love today, V wouldn't be the most impactful character to add, but it would still be cool nonetheless. And this is just an objective fact. Maybe they could add him as Virgil's cub or something. I don't know. I think the people we will definitely be seeing that isn't the twins or Nero is most likely Trish or Lady. You know what? I would be completely taken aback if we didn't even get Nero. You see, for the DMC side of the crossover community, it would feel like a slap in the face, a flashbang, followed by a strategic sleight of hand to tactfully perform live CBT torture before they inevitably get their bodies completely disseminated by a grenade. In other words, they won't be happy, and neither will I. We want these characters to feel at least 20, maybe even a solid 30% of how they feel in their respective original game. Let's be honest, Kuro Games is definitely capable of creating the perfect moveset for the twins, but we cannot expect them to give them a copy and paste of every single skill and move and ability they have in DMC 5. It's just not happening. And if it does, I'll be sure that the next time I go live on Twitch, I will eat a car live with no bev. Terrifying that I'd have to do that with no drink. We want to, at the very least, see some Devil Trigger transformations, definitely some style switches and fucking air combos. Thank God Wan Shi Dreamer and Lucia Pyroth exist. I think that without them, things would be a little bit more complicated for the crossover's future. The characters already look extremely good. People who say they look bad, well, it's okay to have an opinion, even if your opinion is completely fucking wrong. The only thing I'm concerned about is the voices. It would be absolutely out-fucking-standing if we could get the DMC 5 voice actors to do their thing for the crossover, but there is a part of me that thinks the chances of that happening is about the same chance of Jinxie not taking the time to scream like he's being murdered during a stream, or for his community to not call him fat. Difficulty impossible. But I do hope whoever it is that they get is passionate about DMC and will do the characters justice. Hell, Kuro Games, why don't you give me a call? I'll voice the twins for free, and I'll do a damn good job, while also voicing them both at the same time. Now, aside from characters, however, there's actually a few things that I feel would make this crossover absolutely fucking peak. So, we all know that the DMC heads, including myself, love them some Bloody Palace, and I'm not gonna lie, adding into the event a Bloody Palace Infinite Floors challenge game mode with fixed stats that can be both done in single player and multiplayer with 2 respective separate leaderboards will have me sexually ascending already. I feel as though this mode might end up being so popular with the community, people will demand more, and if denied, they'll go into a blind rage, much like a bunch of rabid rioting incels when their favorite VTuber announces she has a boyfriend. Being able to actually play with my friends in this mode that isn't the current shitty multiplayer we have now would most certainly make me happy. Fighting a mixture of corrupted and demons would be absolutely peak in my opinion. Oh, and also, make both Dante and Virgil bosses as well with 12k variants on top of that, please. I want the battle to take place on the Qlipoth. I'm begging you, don't miss this opportunity, Kuro Games. Having these two as bosses with their own unique timed parry mechanics, transformation states for different phases, as well as unique rewards revolving around defeating them on a variety of difficulties would be an extremely gratifying experience. I remember the first time I fought either of the twins. It was certainly a surreal experience. The higher the difficulty I fought them, the more I began to realize I wasn't just fighting for the sake of defeating either brother, I was fighting for my fucking life. For you see, every time I was taunted by Dante for instance, I would feel my blood pressure rise, and it would rise up to dangerous levels. Anytime Virgil would parry me, I would feel all of the shit leaving my body faster than Mach 5 Speed Racer breaking the fucking sound barrier. If I fought him on an empty stomach and I was still parried, my intestines are going immediately. That's what we Firm Software and DMC fans constitute as fun. I am really hoping that the units are way better than what we got in past crossovers. This is actually one of the concerns that the community has when it comes to this crossover, that it's going to be lackluster or not deliver in the way that they want. Look, I also am in agreement that I want this crossover to be the best that it possibly can be. There are a lot of people that downplay Punishing Gray Raven or think Punishing Gray Raven is just simply not worth playing or is just not up to par with the rest of the gacha games. I for one love this game, and I would love to see Kuro Games take their original baby and prove everyone wrong by making this one of the best crossovers of all of gacha time. I want them to make this feel like an experience where I can say, wow, that was a fun experience, instead of, wow, Capcom better sue Kuro Games into the fucking ground. There is also another concern, or rather idea I have for the crossover, but to be honest, I'm probably going to make that into a completely separate video. It's more so a concept and idea that I feel as though plenty of people would be on board with. I think it surpasses the crossover in general, so it will definitely be a more generalized topic. Anyways, I hope to also see the Shu Gang's queen, Alpha, alongside Lucia, fighting against Dante and Virgil to some capacity, or even fighting alongside them. Now, I know that Alpha is often referred to as one of Virgil's daughters, and I won't lie, witnessing a fight between them would be absolutely amazing. But I also think I want to see Alpha race against Dante while he's using Cavalier. They both ride motorcycles, and I feel like having a game mode where you're racing and battling against corrupted and demons at the same time on their own specialized tracks made for Alpha's motorcycle and Dante's Cavalier would be an amazing thrill ride to go through. An action-packed race mode during that event that has Dante and Alpha see who exactly is the best motorcyclist would be amazing, and honestly, W Uncle for spending time with his niece. But also, I think that would be a very good thing to have stuck in your memory once the crossover ends up leaving. We love combat here in Punishing Gray Raven, but I'm thinking outside of the box here. Now, speaking of Alpha, I would also love to see a new Virgil-inspired frame or coding created for her that even has her saying certain lines from Virgil himself. And you know, it actually reminds me, who would have thought Alpha would be one of the first of Virgil's daughters to actually meet Virgil at an official capacity inside of her own game? Absolutely insane. I feel as though with the coming up of this crossover, Kuro Games will earn a lot of money if this is done right, which will further help in supporting and improving not only Punishing Gray Raven, but Wuthering Waves as well. This crossover event could feed families for generations if done right. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. How hard are you looking forward to playing the PGR x DMC crossover? Let us know down below, and obviously, of course, I want you all to take care and peace.